Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren,
And I'm Lisa.
and this is your
Behavior tip of the week.
So, our behavior tip this week is problem solving for problem behavior. So, we spend a lot of time talking about proactive strategies, how to avoid those behavior problems. But listen, we understand this is real life, and there are going to be those times when problem behaviors occur. So, what should I do when those things happen?
So here's a little infographic that we created that is super quick and easy. We'll also post this so you can, have access to printing it if you want. And it just has 3 steps for you to think of when problem behaviors occur. And the first step is observe. So you need to quit, and it could be quick. I'm not talking about like observe for 30 minutes. Okay. But let's quickly observe, take a step back. And what are the possible triggers or antecedents? Like what caused this to happen? Do I have any idea? Is there something that occurred in the classroom, or could it be something internally that's happening with the student? And then I also need to think about, okay, what did this behavior result in, which is the function? Okay, so did it get the kid attention? Did it get them out of something? Did it provide access to something they wanted or to a sensory experience? Okay, most of the time it's going to be attention and or escape. You got to kind of know that first so that you can have a plan, which is step 2.
All right. So now I need to have my plan. And the first thing I want to do is respond rather than react. And guys, this is hard. We're human, right? So the first time a behavior happens, you may react, right? Like, don't do that. Or
I've done that before.
A quick reaction, right? It's a gut reaction. As a human, as a teacher, you want to bring that kid back in really quick. But the purpose of having a plan allows you to shift that reaction to a response, because I'm going to have it planned out how I'm going to respond the next time Lisa does X, Y, and Z. I'm going to have planned out what I'm going to say to the student, how I'm going to redirect the student, or how I might redirect other students in the classroom. Then I also want to consider reinforcement. So what reinforcement is available for that student for doing that appropriate behavior or that expected behavior that I want them to do instead? So consider, is it something that your student can access through the whole class-wide reinforcement system, or does that student need some more individual reinforcement where just they are receiving reinforcement based on some specific expectations that you've put in place for them? And then as a part of your plan, you also want to consider who can assist. So that means maybe people on your team, right? Is there a teacher next door that I can send this kid to because they really need a walk or a movement break? Is it someone on administration that I need to be using the walkie or buzzing the buzzer to call for assistance through administration? Maybe it's your BHP on campus, or if you have a BIA or a CIT, right? So think about those people that are on your campus that are available to access to. And guys, a really good idea is to talk through this plan with them as well, so that if other people are responding to your classroom or to this student and their behavior, they're responding the same way, so the student is getting that consistency.
And guys, the plan for the who can assist shouldn't be just like take the kid out of my classroom, because if you took a second to observe and to consider that function, if the behavior is happening to get out of something, and then your plan is to call somebody to get them out of your classroom, then you're essentially strengthening that behavior, meaning you're reinforcing it. So we want to think about, if we understand the function, okay, how can our response provide more reinforcement in that way for doing something that's correct? So for example, if I'm doing a behavior to get out of the classroom and you teach me instead to ask for a break, and I can do that within the classroom, then the kid stays in there and they get back to work much faster. If I'm doing it for attention, then you teach them a different way to gain attention and you provide lots of reinforcement, praise, and all that stuff for that. So taking that second in step 1 to observe and to think is going to help you be a responder instead of a reactor, for sure, and also know how to respond in the most effective way.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay, so step 3 is we implement that plan, and we want to make sure that we're consistent. And Lauren kind of already talked about that, making sure that everyone's on the same page. Right. You can write up a 3-step little thing that you type up super fast, like this is what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to respond when the behavior happens. So that assists with consistency. And when we respond consistently, the student knows what to expect. And they also start to understand that their problem behavior is no longer going to get them what they were looking for out of that, right? And then the last thing is to reflect and revise, which is really important to do. So when I have managed a problem behavior in the classroom and that went well, I want to think about, okay, why did that go well?
Right.
And what did I do well? I responded really well today instead of reacting or whatever, right?
Give yourself a pat on the
Yeah,
back.
exactly. Or if it didn't go so well, you want to think about like, okay, how can I change that? Okay, maybe I did react a little bit today.
Fair.
How can I plan a different response next time? What can we shift and change? So that coming back and reflecting and revising is a really important part of this process too.
Absolutely. So we hope these 3 steps are helpful. There's something quick that you can do in your classroom, whether on your own or in a small team of people, but something we want you to consider when you do encounter those situations with problem behavior. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week for your behavior tip of the week.
Bye.